Hello and welcome to our weekly Tao Te Ching Exploration. This is a series where we dive into the Tao Te Ching, the primary text for Sanctuary, written by the mysterious Lao Tzu. And we also enjoy exploring other spiritual teachings here and their real life applications. So thanks for being with us. I'm Courtney Rose.
I'm Eric Osborne.
And let's dive into chapter 5. Nature nurtures all things with the wholeness of complete virtue. It shows the greatest and perfect kindness by giving life to let all things grow and accomplish them with the hastening of harvest. Therefore, according to ancient custom, nature may seem unkind to regard all beings as a traditional straw dog for sacrifice. And likewise with a saint, he may seem unkind to regard people as a traditional straw dog for sacrifice. The space between heaven and earth is like the bellows. It appears empty, yet it gives a supply that never fails. The more it moves, the more it brings forth. Many words lead to exhaustion. It is better to center on the true essence within. So,
I think first of all, what is a straw dog?
Yeah, what is a straw dog? Well, when I looked it up, it seemed to be like something that's used and discarded in ritual. So, is that what you...
Yeah, like an actual straw dog that is like a symbol so that you're not actually sacrificing a real dog. So,
yeah. A dog made of straw.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what do you make of this? What's initially coming up for you?
That none of it matters. You know? It's like both the saint and the sinner, I guess, are both treated as straw dogs by nature. So, not that they don't have meaning. There is like a ton of meaning there, right? Like you put a lot of meaning into the straw dog and then it becomes the sacrifice. And so, everything just comes and goes, and it could be seen that nature is unkind and uncaring because really we live these lives and do all that we do just to turn into dirt. And that endless bellows that it talks about, I love that. How, because it's like this constant replenishing from the infinite. So it's this paradox of like great meaning and no meaning all at the same time in this past for me. What about
you? Well, similarly, it brings up for me I'm a little distracted by thinking about an interpretation of this that I read, which noted that it seems like these are 3 separate teachings wrapped into one, that originally the author of the Tao Te Ching did not separate these writings into chapters, and then they later got separated into 81 chapters.
Okay.
So that is coming to me, which, I mean, oftentimes when I read the Tao Te Ching, I'm thinking like, that seemed like a big break in what you were getting at. Okay, now I'm like, so yeah, trying to interpret different teachings in one lumped together piece is something that's coming up for me right now. But when I just start with the first one, treating different experiences as good or bad, thinking of mushroom ceremony and thinking about when when we have unpleasant, challenging experiences. For instance, just specifically with a mushroom and in life, initially what happens is typically like that sucked. I didn't like that. Whatever experience I just had, whatever I went through in my life or in ceremony, like I shouldn't have had that experience. Why did I have that? I must have done something wrong, or something must have been wrong. And focusing on that it shouldn't have happened, like categorizing it as bad or good, based on feelings, specific sensations as pleasant or unpleasant. When we have the gift of time and we can look back on certain life experiences that initially we label as bad, really challenging, don't want to go through that again, naturally. If we can look at it from the lens of what unfolded after and what we learned from it and how our life changed because of that challenging experience, then we can also see the good in it. So that's what comes to me reading this. Like, there is no such thing really as good or bad.
All just fuel for the fire, grist for the mill. Have you heard that saying? It's all grist for the mill. Even the mill is grist for the mill. That goes back to the whole sand being the mountaintops, mountaintops being the sand. You know, I love this line here, and this one says, "Bellows are inexhaustible, but the more they are worked, the more they produce." And so, you know, like bellows for a fire, it's the same thing. It's just this, like the churning of nothingness brings like not even life, existence, manifestation to everything. I had this experience with mushrooms years ago that has been kind of coming back up for me lately as we've been talking about time in our training course. One of the modules focuses on time, and like space and time are one thing apparently. And we have this idea that time is moving because that's our experience, but it's similar to the sun moving. Like the sun's not moving, we're moving, right? And so if we think about time in the same way, I had this visual once in a mushroom ceremony of not of us moving like linearly through time, but this kind of churning through time and space, that we're always still. We only perceive ourselves as moving, and there is actually this kind of spiraling, churning in place that gives us the impression of movement through space and time. The bellows metaphor in some ways reminds me of that.
What it says, the space between heaven and earth is like the bellows. It appears empty, it gives a supply that never fails. Yeah, I love that comparison to like the sensation of time, and also time being that space, just in the example that I just gave with having an experience and labeling it a certain way. And this mystery of time giving clarity.
What's the last line of yours say?
It says, many words lead to exhaustion. It is better to center on the true essence within. I read that and I'm like, is Lao Tzu getting a little tired? Is he like, never mind. I've said all these words. This isn't doing it justice.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's tired. I think it's a realization that
Right.
This one says, the more we try to define, the more we diminish. Far better to cherish unspoken inner understanding. If that doesn't speak to a mushroom experience, I don't know what does.
It totally reminds me of every single mushroom experience I've ever had. And then afterwards, when I'm with other people and I'm like, what just happened? And
Shut up. Stop
yeah,
talking.
just I
Stop
keep
talking.
trying and then it goes away. It doesn't.
And
Yeah.
it does. It actually gets farther away from our experiential understanding. We lose touch of the experience the more we try to put it into words.
This quote is coming to me. Gosh, I'm blanking on the author, but the quote that says, "When the book and the bird disagree, listen to the bird." It's the true experience that is really all that we have. So, yeah. So, okay. The interpretation of it now practically in our own lives. How does this really apply? Do you have any experiences, personal experiences? We've talked about the mushroom experience some here, but like day to day.
I have, gosh, you know, how's this going to land to my wife? But, you know, like, I don't think that it means that we don't put importance on things, we don't value, but it's like everything is equal, you know, like our children is like, you know, how our kids, I've got 4 kids, every single kid around the age of like 4 has started to have like freakouts in bed, realizing they're going to die. Right. And like your children are just the most precious thing, and they're going to grow and leave home and all this stuff. And so there's this comfort that comes with recognizing that everything is in passing. Everything is temporary, you know, and there's also this, well, there can be an anxiety around that, like the kids having that realization, or even we as adults, we kind of have anxiety around dying or losing a loved one or whatever it might be. And if we can maintain that level of awareness, that knowing that that's exactly what makes them our loved ones, you know, and that simultaneously there is no end to this thing. So it's some wisdom for a daily pause and helping me anyway, not get too wrapped up in, you know, the potency of things and people, and that can also go into challenging situations, or, you know, individuals who are rubbing me the wrong way, and just be like, oh, okay, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You're being exactly what you're supposed to be. And so it's for me to sit with it and use it as an opportunity to become a better version of myself. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's understandable from your wife. Then makes sense. And I feel that I'm thinking what the challenging experiences that I try and avoid are just the thing that I need when they're happening. And to lean into it instead of resist them. And that's like the Bellows, the leaning in, the just trusting that nature, this mystery, is doing its magic and taking care of things. And if I can lean in, then I won't get so exhausted.
Yeah, and maybe also too an opportunity to not take ourselves so seriously, right? I mean, golly, how much time do audience, listeners, how much time do we spend thinking about what other people think of us, or worrying about what's to come, and whatever is coming? It's exactly what the Tao, nature, existence intends for. Like that's intend maybe a challenging word for some, but I tend to feel like there's some kind of intention behind this thing, even if it's just like an evolving churning, or again, like how much we worry about what people think of us, or we can just let it go because it's all just it only has the meaning we apply to it. That's a big piece of this too for me. It's like everything has the meaning that we apply to it, not necessarily an inherent meaning. Like it's not good or bad. It just is. Like you were saying with the trip, it's not good or bad. It just is. And the meaning that you give it is what makes it what it becomes.
Which is, practically speaking, that is in the moment. It doesn't add up. Mm-hmm. Like there are life experiences that we've all had that when we're having them, like I'm thinking about when we were arrested in 2015, and like my first reaction, it doesn't matter how enlightened we are. I think that is part of it though.
There's some that get there. Like Nelson Mandela was chilling in the jail cell. I'm sure he had some moments of turmoil. Surely.
Right. But just like to really humanize all of this, since we are having a human experience. And to me, that is an important part of what we're here to do and experience is have all the feelings. And that is part of the mystical awakening process, is truly feeling that experience of this shouldn't be happening, or why is this happening? And then coming through it. But I do think, and my lived experience tells me that it gets quicker, like that process of going through that turmoil and into rebirth gets quicker the more conscious I have become of it as a process that repeats. But in the moment, it's just like, that is part of it. Is what? Why is this happening? This is horrible. This feels horrible.
Yeah, I love what you said about the awareness of it and embracing of it, speeding up the process. That's certainly been the case for me, and it's something I have certainly learned from the mushroom and the experiences therein, that letting go, embracing the experience as exactly what is meant for me right now, this is supposed to be happening right now, just embracing it, just slide through it a little bit easier, a little more gracefully, a little bit quicker, and get to the other side where, then you like, there's the flip side. It's like, oh, look at this great thing that's happening. And then, 6 months later, you found out it wasn't actually that great.
Yeah, right. Let's not miss out on that.
I'm curious, audience, what do you have experiences where you thought something that was great turned out not to be, or wasn't so great turned out to be? Just how do you relate to this text? How's it land for you? And what can you share in the comments below that might help extend the understanding or enrichen the experience of this conversation for someone else? Because you matter, even if you are a straw dog.
You matter to us, even if you don't matter.
And just do the thing
to the sage.
Like that's what I mean. It does. Like even the straw dog, because it's going to be burned or sacrificed or whatever, however we term that. Like there's like the more intention, and here again, this is mushroom talk, but the more intention we put into an item or a moment or an experience, then like the more meaning it has, the richer it becomes. And that doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. Nothing does. Even the mountain becomes the sand hill, So, but like, man, climbing that mountain, getting to the top of it is really, really important, really valuable, and has a lot of meaning if we allow it to. So yes, my little straw dogs, you mean so much to me. Us.
If you want to show up on a Sunday service and with a bunch of other straw dogs and explore together,
So straw dog.
it's better when we're together. So come on into Sunday service. If you enjoyed this conversation, we'd love to hear your perspective. You can find the link in the show notes, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining.